It's an interesting story. About 2017, I was down in Nashville, Tennessee at the Hutton Hotel. I had this incredible bourbon with this beautiful piece of ice in it, crystal clear. I'm like, man, this is pretty good. So I said, who makes this? And so the bartender said, Matt. I'm like, well, who's Matt? He goes, oh, he's the ex-GM of the Hutton Hotel. I was like, well, I want to talk to Matt. So he did. He gave me his number. So I texted him and I said, my name's James. You have no idea who the hell I am. I live in Cincinnati. I'm in marketing and I love your ice. And he goes, yeah, man. He goes, anybody who likes my ice, I love you. So the next day, I was at his shop, 9 a.m. Went in, took a look at all the ice. He loaded me up with probably 3 big coolers of ice and said, they're all yours. Go ahead and have fun with them. I'm like, this is fantastic. Came all the way back to Cincinnati and I realized I don't have a freezer. So I called my other son, Christopher, and I said, honey, can you go and meet me at Target? And he goes, why? I said, I need a freezer. He goes, okay. Jenny's at home, my wife, and she's like, what on earth are you doing? And so I unloaded these 3 big coolers of ice and a freezer, which we found a way to hide it in the basement. I remember one of my buddies said, what are you going to do with this? And I said, you're going to make a business out of this? I'm like, that's a good idea. I said, why not? Let's have our own ice company here in Cincinnati. And that was the start of Big Ice.
I was working at Big Idea Group between high school and college, and I was not liking it at all. So this ice thing was pretty interesting. So one day I went in and I said, hey, I don't like marketing. This is not really my thing.
Which is a bummer.
What about
off, but that was okay.
something with this ice company?
Yeah.
And from that day onward, I would drive down to Nashville in the Jetta and get a big cooler and go hang out with Matt and learn everything there was to learn. At least at that point, what I thought was everything to learn. So when Andrew had started, he eventually started gaining some traction with some restaurants in Cincinnati to the point where it demanded another employee, which is when Patrick came on. So now we had a sales guy, we had a driver, and we had a truck. And that's when we first met the guys in Fort Wayne. They became a supplier of our product because at this point we had no integration of production at all. We were just a middleman essentially, and a marketing arm and a sales team and distribution. And that's where we really started to build the relationship with Cubicle Ice.
So we literally drove up to Fort Wayne, saw these folks for the first time ever, right? We had never met them before. And they're a bunch of bartenders, extremely innovative, and they literally had created this company to create ice for their bars. We left there going, oh my God, we really like these people, but they have no room. They have very little capacity. So I got out the damn credit card, and by the time we got back to Cincinnati, we had bought a CNC machine, Kleinbau machines, a whole bunch of them, and I bought 4 of them.
Walk-in freezers.
Walk-in freezers,
chains,
everything.
all sorts
and
of
arrived
stuff.
in Cincinnati, and we literally had outfitted this entire company with triple the capacity that they had.
I remember sitting down with Andrew and Patrick and saying, hey, we need to make this work. We need to hit this number. And we slowly added more and more customers and late nights in the facility, just making it happen until finally it started clicking and clicking and clicking. And eventually we hit that number, and that propelled us to continue these conversations with Cubicle Ice that eventually led to the acquisition of Cubicle in November of 2023. Sure. And from that point onwards, it was just a story of exponential growth.
One of the philosophies when we created the company was great people with great ideas can do great things. I'm a big believer that you take character and people with a crazy idea, you can do anything if you have the passion and you have the commitment to do it. And that is what fuels this company, because it's not about we can't do it, it's what if, why not? And then we go.
The challenge of the recent past has been that level of scale. and keeping the culture of this team. Because what we had was really special. I mean, we had this small incubator of individuals that were so bought in to this ludicrous idea that we could build a company like this, and sacrificed a lot to be a part of it. Everyone that signed on to be a part of this signed on to something that was nothing at the time. There was no guaranteed income, there was no cash flow, there was no job security per se. They took a chance to be a part of something that was bigger than themselves, and they put the work in to get to that point. Now it's a challenge of innovation in Fort Wayne and how can we do things quicker and more efficiently and add more machines and more equipment and more people and more trucks. And now it's just 300 restaurants. Why can't it be 600? We're not naive and ignorant enough to think that what we're doing isn't insane and it's not crazy. We sell ice for a living. Like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But there's nothing better. I mean, what else can you ask for but starting in a basement with a crazy idea and now looking down and saying we're doing weddings and rehearsal dinners and engagement parties, and we are a part of that experience every day, and that's what drives us. Sure, there's times when you're in your freezer and there's a lot of mundane work and factory work behind it, but at the end of the day, this is what drives us and what gets us out of bed.
There's no stopping us. We're just having a lot of fun, right? I hope you are. This is crazy. It's a nutty story.